Welcome to this Locality 7 communication event, the first one that we've run in this area. I'm Chris Marsh, I'm the youth work lead for Locality 7, that's the Bude, Launceston and Callington area.
I'm Simon Sparrow and I'm member of Youth Parliament for East Cornwall. That stretches from Bude to Saltash along the north coast. It goes from Bude to Padstow and just cuts straight down, basically. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. So at the moment, I'm currently running my election because I'd like to stay for the third year. What I do is basically actively campaign all over my constituency to improve the lives of young people.
We're a team of young people from different schools around Launceston. We meet up on a regular basis at the Orchard Youth Centre project. We discuss improvements and changes that would benefit people in the town and most specifically our age group.
And we're running a youth project for young women called YWAG. And
YWAG stands for Young Women's Activity Group.
We're down from Bude, and at the moment we're the youth representatives on the committee, which is Bude CATS, and that stands for Community Action Free Sport.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm just introducing the group. I'm not going to stay here for long. It's just to let you know that about 4 years ago, a set of money was set aside by the Cornwall Council, about 450,000, for young people's activities, and that money was given to young people to spend based on filling out an application form, and you go to a meeting and you decide where the money goes. So across Cornwall, split into localities, each group was given a pot of money which they would sort of decide upon. And on that note, I shall leave it to Alex, isn't it? Can you explain what you've done with the money?
Well, we were given like £450,000 given to Cornwall and divided into areas. Each area has a panel of approximately 6 young people. Groups of young people sent in applications which went before the panel and were either accepted or rejected. The main criteria had to be written by young people and to benefit young people. I've been a member of the OMYPD for about 2 years. During this time I was a member of the panel. Myself and others were made to feel like achieved members, active members of the community and given power on what to spend the money on.
Which gave us the impression that the opinions and decisions of young people in terms of funding and organisation were relevant.
Mandy's just introduced herself. Mandy is the locality manager for the area. And Mandy, for this exercise, is in charge of the whistle. Whistle's important. Next exercise is a speed dating exercise. Right. Okay, we've set up, you need to listen because it's going to happen quickly. Okay, we've set up 6 tables. On each table there's at least one counsellor who has an issue that they wish to discuss with young people. There's also a youth worker who's going to make notes of anything which is said. The idea is that the counsellors and the youth workers stay on the table, and every time you hear the whistle, the group of young people rotates around, and we will rotate from table 1, if you're on table 1, to table 1, and table 2 to 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6. Table 6, after you've been on table 6, you go to table 1.
Sport, I think one of them was availability, certainly in the evenings. The second issue was the charging structure, which means that when you're 16 you get charged adult fare, even if you're still in college. And one of the interesting things that come out of it was the possibility of why we can't use this like an Oyster card that used for like London Transport use, to enable people to go all around Cornwall on an Oyster card rather than having to carry cash around.
For me, being a youth worker, the one thing that came out of this for me was actually the bus drivers and the respect that young people have of bus drivers trying to prove their age and actually being rude came off every group that came to this thing was the roomless and the bus drivers. So I think that's a massive point.
We were looking at jobs and personal debt, and was it a worry? The two key things that came out were, one, university fees and the ability to pay them back, because that's not the end of the story. They've also got to be funded for their accommodation while they're at university. So to achieve, there's a lot of expense up front. And the other thing I think was jobs. Again, this links back into transport, but in many areas there is no transport access to places where there are jobs available. So someone who's moved from Truro to Lanston finds that they can't get a job here. There are jobs in Truro, but they can't get there with the transport.
We have sexual health and how easy it is to access this information and things. So the Haven seems to be the strongest model out of the three areas. Launceston College, the school, it's felt lets them down. There's not enough information coming from the school on sexual health. And Callington was the Tic Tac building, although it's got potential. A lot of people think that at the time that it's opened and actually accessing it and having to have a note from the school to go there is breach of sort of confidentiality.
Trying to get the changes with the NHS and the like in the role of our surgery and our doctors, and if we could get a doctor once every 6 months or 12 months to drop in on the youth club to make that face-to-face connection in effect.
On our table we had drugs, are they a problem? No, apparently they're not a huge problem as perceived by the young people in the room, but the problem is that it seems to be, from talking to everybody, it's getting worse and worse as time goes on, as it gets stronger. And everybody really seems to know somebody who does drugs, and the availability of it seems to be that it's just easy, and it's just all around, and it seems to be becoming a part of everybody's everyday life.
We were talking about communications. It's quite obvious, I think. All but one person said the best thing, just about one person said the best way of communicating is through Facebook. We talked also about how people could be involved in decisions that were being taken. We talked about the Cornwall Council webcasting. People would actually watch a webcast, trust me, you'd only watch it once, of a decision that mattered to them, but people want to be able to have their say on those decisions as they're being taken, not just be forced to sit there and watch it. Huge number of ways of people getting in touch. Lots of people prefer different ways, whether it's email, whether it's Facebook, whether it's MSN, whether it's reading a blog, whether it's on Twitter or whatever. I'm only naming those things I can do, so. But yeah, I mean.
We were talking about mental and physical health, and we broke it out into physical health and mental health as two separate things. The main issues that came up were physical health was lack of facilities like leisure centres. Where there are leisure centres, they're too expensive in most cases, Neil. And with mental health, the main thing, and it's came up with basically every group, was stress, and particularly exams and coursework and all of that happening at the same time as your relationships are changing and things like that. The outcomes were to obviously make leisure centres slightly cheaper and keep them open, particularly Camelford and Bude Seagull, Neil. And the mental health was to use the Bude model of having the health centre as part of the school and just having a lot more support.
Good evening everybody, I'm Ricky Lovell, aka MC Tricky. I've been a drum and bass and a dubstep MC for the past 8 years of my life. I've grew up in Launceston, yeah, and I've seen the development and what's been happening on all the changes. It's all good, you can all take the mick, yeah, but I'm older than you lot and I've seen what's gone on. I've been, addicted to drugs, yes. I've been in problems with family life and everything, but I've turned my life right around in the music industry as well, I want to be. So, I'm going to basically do a little summary and I'm going to, relate some issues and what I see basically and what I perceive out in this town, this is what I do and this is my love, all straight from my heart. So, basically I'm going to start off really, so I go like this. Every time I walk the town, I go from zero to hero with these kids walking around, telling me you're giving me the frown. Why? Because I wear this crown proud. I turned my life around from being a drug dealer out on the streets from the age of 14. I married it. It's a very murky scene out there, and I've had people pick me up against the wall with a knife to my throat and tell me that they're going to end my life. Why? Because I got onto a tick list, which turns into a hit list. That's dodgy business. So I turned my life around with a 6-month-old baby at home fast asleep. That's why I get up on this mic now and I spray straight from the heart. I need all these counsellors to listen to these kids. These kids are the future. Technology is 2011. Text has mucked up the grammar these days, but these kids need to learn how to stand up and start spraying, start letting their words feel, and getting it across so these counsellors know what you want. That's right, I've been in the game for about 8 years. I've had no support from my hometown, and everybody's looked at me and took the piss and told me, Tricky, you'll never make it in the game. Well, now look at me, I'm on bare flyers. Doing it all off my own back, I'm making bare P, I'm making tunes, that's what I want to be, an MC. So you can do whatever you want to whenever you want to do it. That's right, that's all I'm going to say is stand up here and do what you want. Because every time that you live...